यूट्यूब लाइव आरंभ करेगी। स्टूडेंट कार्ड स्टूडेंट कार्ड सेंड मार हाँ ठीक है यूट्यूब नॉट टू अकाउंट अरे भाई रे तो एपे ए समय चक्र कौन है यूट्यूब सॉरी एक मार अरे नहीं होना आपको नहीं बोलते 20 लोग बोल जा ब्रेन मैटर्स जा सेटल कर लीजिए हेलो तो अकाउंट रे एरा की तो अकाउंट ये यूट्यूब को या अकाउंट मैनेज करो कमेंट शेयर कर सूरज कुमार पिन के दी जन अच्छा अच्छा एवं ताले आपको मेल करते स्टूडेंट्स को ना जहाँ वो डाके मैंने समझ रहा था स्पेसिफिकली बैच छाड़ हम कुछ जान अच्छा OBS होती ना चलिया कथा मो लैपटॉप रे माइक ऑन अछि मो लैपटॉप माइक रू वॉइस जाउ यूट्यूब डाकर दीजन के देख अच्छा ठीक है भाई की चेयर मैंने आम नंदिनी पंदी से आराधना कारण आराधना मेघा गरिया कहते से डाक दे आउे
this. Yeah. Is it visible?
हाँ हो रहा है,
Hello.
होपफुली हेल्पफुल, हाँ हो रहा है नाइस।
Okay.
आपका
Okay.
कुछ वीडियो वगैरह नहीं है ना? क्योंकि वीडियो मतलब ऐसे लैग करेगा जब हम प्रेजेंट करेंगे तो।
नहीं, इसमें वीडियो नहीं है
हाँ
मेरे
ठीक है,
प्रेजेंटेशन में।
ठीक है।
अभी फुल स्क्रीन है क्या?
हाँ फुल स्क्रीन मतलब आपका वो दिख रहा है ऐसे कि मतलब क्या कहते हैं वो पावर पॉइंट का वो दिख रहा है, प्रॉपर फुल स्क्रीन नहीं है।
ओह अच्छा।
एक बार आप उसको प्रेजेंट कर
ठीक है,
दीजिए।
ठीक है। हाँ, मैं देखता हूँ। हाँ, अब बताओ दिख रहा है क्या नहीं?
हाँ हो रहा है
दिख रहा है फुल स्क्रीन?
हाँ फुल स्क्रीन हो रहा है,
हाँ,
ठीक। बस वो जो meet.google
स्लाइड।
वो उसको हाइड कर देना।
हाँ।
हाँ आपका नीचे
ठीक
लिखे आ रहा है
ठीक
ना?
है,
हाँ
उसको
बस
हाइड कर दूँ।
यस यस हाँ
ये स्लाइड चेंज हो रहा है?
हाँ हो रहा
ओके,
है,
थैंक्स।
ठीक है, वेलकम।
ग्रेट।
भाई हम थोड़ा वेट करेंगे, 6:30 तक चलेगा, क्योंकि हमने 6:30 का टाइम दिया था तो। हाँ
ठीक है।
आपका वीडियो भी विजिबल है। अरे हम सब ने अपना वीडियो,
हाँ,
सब
ठीक
वीडियो
है।
ऑन कर लो।
तुम तो अकेले ही हो ना?
नहीं बाकी सब भी है, मतलब ऐसे सब ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं फ़िलहाल के लिए हम।
अच्छा।
और बाकी
ओह,
हाँ ये भी है, और ऐसे आप हम ये बोर्ड
हेलो।
सब दिख रहा है ऐसे। भाई कुछ ऐसे बोले, कुछ इनसाइड टॉक दीजिए हमें।
इनसाइड टॉक्स कुछ नहीं भाई, बस पढ़ाई करो। और मैं बस यही बोलूंगा कि मैं जो पाथ फॉलो किया हूँ, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है, उससे बिल्कुल सीख मत लो।
क्यों?
क्योंकि तुम्हारा जो पाथ होगा, तुम्हारा जो क्या बोलते हैं, जो मैं तुमको जो बताने वाला हूँ, कि जो एडवाइस देने वाला हूँ फॉरवर्ड, लाइक पर वो फॉलो करो। क्योंकि मैं बहुत जगह में गलत किया हूँ मेरा एक्सपीरियंस में।
अच्छा
गलत एज इन की अब मेरे को लग रहा है कि अगर मैं वो सब चीज नहीं करता तो मेरा जो रास्ता है वो थोड़ा स्मूथ होते। पर फिलहाल इस जगह पे आगे बहुत सारे ठोकर खा के, तो मैं बस यही बोलूंगा कि मेरे को फॉलो करके वो ठोकर मत खाओ, मतलब ऐसे इन मस्त जियो खुल के।
और आपको सिर्फ आपके लिए एक इनसाइडर टॉक दे रहा हूँ। एक फर्स्ट ईयर का बच्चा है, ठीक है, उसने कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछा था।
हाँ।
उसका
अच्छा।
क्वेश्चन लाइक आई डोंट नो, मतलब हम फर्स्ट में ऐसे सोच रहे थे कि नहीं, बट मैं आपको जस्ट लिस्ट बोल दे रहा हूँ, ऐसे बोल दे रहा हूँ ताकि कहाँ गया था उसका क्वेश्चन था। एक सेकेंड, हाँ इसका उसका मैं पहले क्वेश्चन शुरू कर रहा हूँ। हाउ टू गेट गुड इंटर्नशिप एंड PhD ऑफर फ्रॉम ए गुड यूनिवर्सिटी इन फॉरेन।
ओके।
उसके उसके मतलब लाइक आज हम बोल रहा हूँ कि ऐसे क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं यूट्यूब कमेंट्स में। अनिरुद्ध भाई भी आ गए।
नहीं, ये एक्चुअली फर्स्ट ईयर के बच्चे के लिए ये बहुत ही नॉर्मल है।
हाँ
क्योंकि मैं इवन बिफोर फर्स्ट ईयर, क्योंकि मैं
एक सेकंड, हेलो भैया,
तीन साल।
हेलो, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग द क्वेश्चंस लाइक one first year guy, like batch 2024 guy, he has put a lot of questions. So just to let you know what has happened. So the first question he has asked, how to get good internship and PhD offer from good university in foreign. Like
Okay.
and And the second question is how much CGPA is required to get a PhD offer? As in, like, proper first year thinking. And does CGPA matters for only does CGPA matters or only experience required? How to write CB and professional letter to professor in abroad to apply for PhD and internships. वो वर्कशॉप है पूरा, ये सब कुछ पूछ रहा है. ओपन रिसर्च एरिया इन open open research area in biological sciences now. How a first year student who came from bio background in 12th class should focus math and physics to get bio in second year. ये आपके लिए नहीं है, sorry.
ये तो दाढ़ी तो जितना मैं आंसर कर पाऊंगा.
हाँ हाँ, ये मतलब अलग ही चीज है. मैं तो बायो से भी हूँ भी नहीं.
प्रॉब्लम तो आ रहे हैं आपको. एंड हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट ऑफ SBS आर सिलेक्टेड फॉर PhD अब्रॉड. ये कैसा क्वेश्चन है? What are the diverse research opportunity other than PhD? हाँ, ये एक गुड क्वेश्चन पूछा है इसने कि what are the different opportunity after PhD, मतलब PhD के अलावा और क्या क्या है. ओ हेलो नीरज भैया, वेलकम.
हेलो.
हम थोड़ा वेट करें अराउंड लाइक 15 मिनट्स 10-15 मिनट्स, सब ज्वाइन कर लेंगे. तब तक वी आर लाइक जस्ट इंट्रोड्यूसिंग ईच अदर्स. हैज गार्गी जॉइंड? आई डोंट नो.
गार्गी
नो,
इधर दिख तो नहीं रहा है.
आई विल जस्ट टेल यू कि आप. हाँ, गार्गी जॉइन. हेलो गार्गी.
अभी
गार्गी
है.
गार्गी, आर यू ऑडिबल टू यू?
हेलो.
Hello. Yeah, okay. Can you like guys check your presentation? If you are presenting, just yeah. If you're presenting, just check your paper. Like, is it happening or not?
Okay, I can.
Some problem with network, I guess.
Can I try to present?
Yeah, please go.
Just see
Go
if
ahead.
I can.
एक सेकंड, तुम्हारा हो रहा है ना वीडियो? कुछ नेटवर्क एरर आ रहा है? नहीं, ओके.
Can you see?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. आप
Yeah,
लोग
I
भी
can
चेक कर
share
लीजिए.
maybe. हाँ.
Sorry, I could not
Understand Hindi?
prepare a power. Yeah.
Okay.
मैं
I think the screen
It's
is
okay, you can talk in
PowerPoint
English.
presentation बना नहीं पाई.
We understand. You're really busy. We understand her. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's visible. Yep. Great work, Anjay.
Okay, I'll go.
Just wait for like 15. Please. Last में we'll do as one second.
It's visible, right?
Yeah.
join the meeting now. Put this face back. ठीक है से YouTube लैपटॉप स्टॉप करो. अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा.
ये ठीक है तो जॉइन ना लिख लीजिए. देख 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 देख.
ना अब जॉइन ना. अब कर जॉइन मत मत.
जॉइन क्विकली. जॉइन क्विकली जॉइन ना करो. यहाँ पर ये वाला कौन सा था? जॉइन क्विकली ना करो. आइए. ये देख लीजिए.
Please join with.
Beach.
ଆମେ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଫ୍ଲୋର ଲାଇବ୍ରେରୀ ଅଛୁ ହେଲା ପୋଷ୍ଟ କରିଛୁ ଏଇଠି ଏ ବ୍ରଡ଼କାଷ୍ଟ ରୁମ୍ରେ କନଫରେନ୍ସ ରୁମ୍ରେ ସରି ତ ତୁ ଚାହୁଁଛୁ ଫିଜିକାଲି ସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରାଲ ଲାଇବ୍ରେରୀ ଆସିବା ପାଇଁ ହେଲା ଆସିପାରିବୁ କେହି ନାହାନ୍ତି 3 ଜଣ ଅଛୁ ତତେ ଯଦି ଇଚ୍ଛା ଅଛି ସେ ବାସ୍ ଠିକ୍ ଅଛି କେସି ସବୁ କିଏ ଜଣେ କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ସବୁ ଅଳସୁଆ. हेलो आ जा भाई सेकंड लाइब्रेरी आ जा सेकंड फ्लोर सेंट्रल लाइब्रेरी. यही बैठ के पढ़ना और क्या मस्त है भाई. ऐसा रूम देखा नहीं होगा. हेलो हेलो
गोटी लाइब्रेरी सेकंड फ्लोर पे आके हम बसছি बोर्ड रूम में.
हेलो हेलो
Alumni
आ जा
Insights.
बोर्ड रूम आ जा.
हाँ
कुछ नहीं बस रूम बहुत अच्छा है.
बाथरूम है बड़ा इसमें.
कोई नहीं है 3 लोग हैं. आ जाओ ठीक है मजा कर रहा था. अच्छा चालेल ना स्टार्ट करता है. स्टार्ट करतो. कोडी जण. चैट रे हाय लिख लो यूट्यूब चैट रे एटा ब्रेन मैट अकाउंट नुहे तू ओई सो मलिक तू ब्रेन मैट अकाउंट रे खोलछु. हाँ लिख गुड हाय लिख हाय ना लिख ए ना तू लिख सुरेश बेरा तू लिख चैट रे हाँ कि वेलकम टू एलुमनी इनसाइट प्लीज़ राइट एनी क्वेरीज इन चैट कैप्स डब्ल्यू कैप. ଲେଖା ସେ ଲେଖାଛି 12 ଅଛି। ହଁ ମୁଁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରୁଛି। ତୁ ମେଲ୍ ପକେଇ 6ଟା 15 ଜଏନ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ। ସ୍ପିକର ଦେଲେ ମୋ ଭଏସ୍ ପଳେଇବ, ମୋ ଭଏସ୍ରେ ସ୍ପିକର ଆସିବ, ଇକୋ ହେବ। ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରିଦେଉଛି ତାହେଲେ। ଏବେ ତ କ'ଣ ଗାର୍ଗୀ, ଅନିରୁଦ୍ଧ, ନିଲେଶ, ରିତଦୀପ। କେତେ ଜଣ ୱାଚିଂ, କେତେ ଜଣ ଅଛନ୍ତି? 13 ବୋପାଲୋ। କି ଆମ ଗ୍ରୁପରେ କିଏ ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ହିଁ ନାହାନ୍ତି। ଆଚ୍ଛା ପ୍ରତିମାନ ମେସେଜ ଦେଇଛି meet.google। ହଜାର ଅଛି ଥିବ ଆହୁରି, ଦେଖୁନୁ 1000 ଅଛି ଥିବ। କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ମାର। ଆଚ୍ଛା ଘୁରୁଛି କ'ଣ ପାଇଁ ତୋର? ପ୍ଲେ ମାର। ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରୁଛି ତାହେଲେ। Hello, am I audible? Okay, so for the presentation we'll start with Gargi, then we'll proceed with Anirudh, Nilesh and Ritadip. Will that be alright with you guys, or you want to change that? Gargi, you are okay with it? Your mic is muted.
Yes.
Okay, Gargi, then the stage is yours. Alright? The stage is yours, like the platform is yours.
Yeah, okay. I'll start sharing the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, it is. Just click it.
Okay. Okay. So, hello everyone and good evening, probably. I'm Gargi. I just finished my master's in 24. And right now I'm doing a PhD in maths at Oxford. So it's I feel very happy to be with like nicer people again. I don't know what I will talk about, but let's see. So first, I am supposed to talk about personal journey. So for me, why I started doing maths is because, first of all, I liked the rigor a lot, that you'll have to prove everything very meticulously and things like that. And then I also like the language a lot. It's a very different sort of language or algorithm, if you want to call it. I'm sure that all the people who are attending this discussion right now, you also have some motivation to do your own subject or just choose your own subject. That why would you want to do chemistry, or why would you want to do physics or biology or computer science? I think it's very important for us to keep that in mind, that why I wanted to do this. Things might change, but it's a good thing to keep that in mind, because it might help at some later time when you're just lost. And then how was it at NISER? It was very nice for me. I just like doing maths. So it's not super important. The most important thing, I guess, is CGPA. So I did not have very good CGPA because also COVID, and sometimes I just did not want to study. Yeah, so COVID was for sure difficult for all of us with online exams, online classes. Yeah, so I would say CGPA is not super duper important. If you can keep it above 8.5, that should be fine, in my opinion. But if you want to work very hard and keep it above 9, that's very good. That's commendable. So it's really up to you how much you want to invest your time into your studies, and mostly exams or assignments, and do well in your courses. And it also depends on your future plans. If you want to apply for PhDs and stuff, then it's good to have 8.5 above CGPA. If you don't have it, then it's also not the end of the world. You can still get a PhD at some university for sure. So that's my opinion on CGPA. And then we can talk about internships a bit. So how I looked at internships again was shaped by the COVID times, because everything was online. So I wasn't meeting my guide or like other people in person, which I think had a very bad effect on how you learn the subject. But okay, so it definitely depends on what you want to do. If you don't want to continue in academia, then you can do like mini applied sort of research. And if you want to be in academia, then I think it's very important to, at least for maths people, it's very important to know as many different subjects as you can, because in our coursework we don't read everything. We don't have time to go through all the different topics. So internships are a very good point to read up on those lacking bits. And yeah, now since there's no COVID, you can actually go to different places and meet new people and just talk to them about their student life and what they are doing in their courses and all of that. So internships are a very good place to just get to know other people of your field and make friends and learn new topics. And okay, then we have MSc thesis. Yeah, I just wrote only one point under this because I think that's the only important point that we should keep in our mind. It's that just choose a topic that you think you'll be able to work on for a whole year. Just don't go for a fancy topic just because it's fancy or it looks good or something like that. So for my fourth year project in maths, we needed to do a fourth year project also. I was doing something in my fourth year that I did not understand at all, but it was very fancy and very like many people are working on it right now. So it's also a very hot topic. So I wanted to learn it, but then I hated every part of it. And I'm so glad that I changed my topic in my fifth year. My supervisor told me to read something else because I was just not happy with what I was doing. And I absolutely loved it, the fifth year project. So yes, talk to your supervisor, talk to maybe your lab mates, or I don't know how things work in other subjects. Maths is like very lonely subject. You do everything all on your own. There are friends, there are things to discuss with friends, but after all, it's you and your pen and paper. So yes, choose a topic that you think you will like to work on. And I can again talk about only maths. It's not necessary to prove a new result or find something new during your master's. You can just read some cool paper or just some really difficult maths that can get you into a PhD. And again, choose your topic depending on what you want to do after you finish your master's. I think by the time when we start our fifth year, it's already clear to us if we want to apply for a PhD or not. If yes, then we should take like more care about choosing the topic. And if we don't want to do a PhD right now, then you can just do whatever I feel. Just have fun, and it's your first research experience, so try to have fun. Okay, and okay, that was all. And then career paths. So first of all, PhD applications. And whenever I think about it, the first word that comes to my mind is scary, because I was so scared to even start the application process, to look for like professors or universities or things like that. That was very, very scary. And I was just procrastinating so much that like it did not go very well for the first few weeks for me. So I would say just plan everything ahead of time. Just start looking at it during the summer break, like July, August. Take your time to email the professors, shortlist the universities, look at how much your family or you will be able to pay, because it's expensive. Applying for PhDs is expensive, so plan the finance ahead also, and start writing your SOPs and other 1,000 different kinds of letters. I don't know what they're called. Something I don't remember right now. Start writing those and talk to your friends, make them read your recipes and also read your friends' recipes. Just discuss with them what you can do better in your recipe and things like that. And yeah, it will be scary. It will feel like a lot at first, but if you just start doing it, you will find your own rhythm. And I guess yeah, it's just you just have to wait to find your own rhythm. And please do not wait till the last 5 minutes before the deadline. Try to at least submit like a day before, or like 6 hours before, 2 hours before, not 5 minutes before. That does not, like, that's just too much intensity for me. So yeah. And then yes, the other thing that I wanted to talk about regarding PhD application is that managing everything at the same time, because you are applying. If you are not applying, then you are also thinking about other career paths, because you are not going to be in NISER a year later, you know that. So you'll have to think about something else. So it can be quite stressful, but I would say just take your time, talk to people you trust, and yeah, just take it slowly. It's going to be fine. Okay. And again, don't be stressed, take breaks. It's your last year at NISER, so try to have fun, try to do things that you still have not done like in the last 4 years. And yeah, even if it does not work out this time, it will work out probably next time. If not next time, then the next time, or you have many different other options. So it's gonna be all right. And then the last thing is alternative career paths. I have put like 2 big question marks because I have no idea about it. For myself, I did not think about anything other than coming to academia or just starting a PhD. But at least for math students, I can say that there are a few career paths that at least very famous here, I can see. So many people go on working in finance. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they just take some courses in finance mathematics and start working in banks or in different corporates. And also cryptography, artificial intelligence, things like that. They have been always popular in the applied math section, so you can do that too. Yeah, okay, so that was all that I had to say. If you have any question, or if you want me to say anything else, then I can go on.
That's great presentation, Kaki. The panel is open to all the questions. We'll have 10 minutes. Then you can spare 10 minutes now. Yeah, Aryan, please.
Hi Gargi, Aryan here. So I
Hi.
wanted to ask, do you have any information about, say, doing PhD in computer science further? Because you're from math, so do you know, like, because many people from math also, not many, but some significant amount goes.
I don't know about computer science at all. I have been doing pure maths all of my life, but I can put you in contact with people whom I know, like they're doing computer science research or have been interested in computer science. So I can put you in contact with those people.
Okay.
Is that fine?
I'll mail you then. Yes, yes.
Okay, sure. Please do email me and remind me.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we can take one more question if there is, or we'll proceed with Anirudh. Okay, then no question, then Anirudh can proceed. Anirudh, your mic is muted.
Can you all hear
Yep.
me, and can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So today I'll be telling about like my NISER journey. So I'm a graduate of batch 18, which means I graduated in year of 2023, and then I joined U Chicago as a PhD, and I just finished my first year. So I'll have to defend my not defend my proposal, just give out a project proposal and get going. So first I started in NISER. It was like 2018. Is it like I was very sure I was going to do chemistry? It was not. So it was like I took all the courses, all the five coursework, like the chemistry, physics, maths, and computer science, and then I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. And also for me, the internships helped me a lot to figure out what I eventually wanted to do for if I even wanted to do a PhD or go to industry and stuff like that. So some milestones would be like I think the biggest milestone was getting a very good supervisor to begin with. Like my first internship I did with like Suman Chakraborty in SNB in CBS Kolkata. And even before chemistry, I was enthusiastic about computer science. So with him, I worked on like computational chemistry that seemed pretty interesting to me. And he was a very nice person and a super nice guide. So it was almost him who dictated what I am doing next and things like that. So after I worked with him, he kind of introduced to the other parts of the soft field which goes on there. And then it was like he introduced me to the field of biophysics. And then I continued to work on biophysics at MBU at ISC Bangalore. And it was also, so I should mention here that I was put in contact with Anand by one of our NISER alumni. So please talk with your seniors. They help you find internships and stuff like that. And after working with Anand, so I used to visit ISC Bangalore, and there I got to work with Anand Govindarajan, who was starting out his lab. So I was his first student. It's good and bad to be somebody's first student. You will learn everything from scratch from him, but because you're the first student, you have to figure out every damn thing they're going on in the lab. And finally, for my fourth year, I came to United States and worked with Sapna in University of Minnesota. It was a project on like protein design. So you can see, as Gargi has mentioned before, take your time during internships to figure out what you really like. Explore areas, don't just stick to a field and just continue working on that. Rather explore ideas during your internship so that you know if you want to do a PhD, and if you want to do a PhD, what are you really passionate about, so that you want to give 5 best years of your life to do that. And after that, so just to mention, so it's like the fellowships are really important. Here are some of the fellowships which helped me for my summer internships. So you can take a note. And I think most of them are on, except I think the University of Minnesota South CTC program is down, but instead they have another summer program up running now. Mm-hmm. And then after all these internships and the coursework at NISER for 5 years, then I joined U Chicago for a PhD in 2023. So some things about NISER, something we don't appreciate while you're at NISER is like NISER has very nice seminar series, which has some things which I regularly went to at the SCS and the SPS seminar series. We have a very nice coursework, probably even better than ISC, I would call. And we have nice lecture series and conferences regularly, which is a nice thing. Try to attend them for free, or at least for free food.
Yeah.
Also, because I work on computations, I use the supercomputing facility, which is, I would call, pretty good compared to other ISERs. And also we have a very nice support staff. Try to talk with them. For computation, I would say particularly talk with them. You can learn a lot of stuff, how to operate like at the hardware level. You get to learn a lot of nice stuff from Anand Raman sir. And about CGPA, as Gargi has already mentioned, a good CGPA helps, but don't kill yourself to get a good CGPA. Try to work hard, but not work too hard that you're not having fun at all. And finally, summer internships. So here are some of the summer internships which I had applied to, and it too can apply. So I think the IAS, the Indian Academy of Sciences Summer Fellowship, is a pretty nice fellowship to get. And the only bad thing is like they will give you broadly the research topic you are working on, but not exactly the same abstract that you wrote for it. They have the TFR visiting summer research program, which is also pretty good. And for international students, you have the Caltech Summer Undergraduate Research Program. The Minnesota gives the summer undergraduate research program in theory and also particularly in chemistry. IST Austria has a summer internship program, which is, I think, in neuroscience, physics, and chemistry. And you have the University of Rochester iScholar summer program, which is also specific to chemistry. So except for the Minnesota and the Rochester program, rest of the fellowships are for all the subjects, I guess. Next, I'll go to like PhD applications, and I'll specifically focus on US PhD applications because after my internship of fourth year, which was at University of Minnesota, I kind of liked the research environment there in the United States, and there I plan to apply only there for my PhD applications. So in USA, when do you usually apply is the fall quarter, which is during November and December. So some points which you'd like to note down would be the deadline is mostly all of them have the deadline of December 1, but that does not mean you submit everything on November 30th. So as Gagi mentioned, try to submit it much before, probably around November, like the last week of November, so that you have time. So that if there is, because it takes a lot of money to apply for these universities, if there is some technical issues, so you can contact back the university and they can help you with the application, and your application fee does not go to waste. Prepare the list of universities, strictly go by what your research interests are and not by rank, because you'll be working on something for 5 years, so and not something that the rank of the university will not be something that we'll be looking at for your next 5 years. Also, a good thing to note, like how do you prepare universities? Select universities where you at least have like 2 to 3 professors in a field that you can work with, or you think you might be interested to work with in a different field.
Okay.
So some of the documents which you might like to prepare before is something like the academic transcript. You get it from the Office of Student Affairs. They usually give it in a week's time. Prepare a curriculum VT, and for chemistry specifically, you need the TOEFL scores. I don't know for other subjects if you need GRE or not, but for chemistry, I won't suggest GRE is required to apply to United States at this point. So for TOEFL, the things to practice would be don't buy the TOEFL books, ask your seniors for online practice tests. They're mostly passed on from one batch to the next. And also a good time to give TOEFL would be somewhere around in August and September, so that the scores takes a month to come, so that even something is wrong, you can give it once again and get things going. Another important thing would be statement of purpose. So you write down your whole story. Why did you choose the subject? What do you plan to do next? And things. I'll expand on this in my next slide. And also the most important thing for United States is you need letters of recommendation. This is specifically who will tell you if they like working with you, what is their experience of working with you, are they a good fit for their lab. So instead of contact, so what I've seen a lot of folks do is like contact at the very end moment to their professors, but that's not a good thing. They can write great things about you in a very short time. So contact at least a month back and provide them with make an Excel sheet of the list of the universities you're applying to and provide it with them so that they can tick them off once they've submitted your letters of recommendation. And whom to take it from? You should take it from your master's thesis supervisor. That's, I would call, a must until you have some other things going. And you should take them from internship supervisors. Also, you can take them for course instructors whom you know really well and can comment on your research or your education background. For the statement of purpose, I would provide a general outline, but beware, you do not have to follow exactly the same thing. You can write your own stuff. And that's perfectly all right, and that's the way to do it. So I think this as some points that should be covered when you write a statement of purpose, and this will give you an example of chemistry. So you need to cover why do you like chemistry. For me, it was my dad is a polymer chemist, so I used to roam around in his polymer lab, and that was how I got the idea of chemistry. But then when I came to NISER, I figured out I did not like playing with chemicals and stuff, and computation was the thing to go. So it was somewhere the sweet spot between computational chemistry, following computational chemistry, and I got hooked into it. And the next thing that you should touch upon is like, how does your time in NISER prepare the groundwork for you to work in chemistry? Like, you should cover like coursework. If you have done some science outreach, cover them. Next, you should go on like why you're interested in the specific subfield of chemistry. This can be from your thesis, based on your thesis project or some coursework or some of your internship projects. Anything would work good here. Next, you should expand on your internships. Don't just write that you worked with this one, you accomplished this one. Rather, you should focus on your learning aspects, like you learned this skill and things like that. And next, you should also do the same for your thesis work and what did you learn from them. Next, you should write about the university. So this is where you should work really hard into looking into which groups you're interested in the university that you're applying to and things like that. Next, you should convince the university, right? Why are you a good fit for the university? So why should they admit you compared to the rest of the whole bunch of applicants? And also a good thing to write is what other facilities of the university that the university offers will help you for the next part of your career. And the most important thing, if you are doing a PhD, why do you even plan to do a PhD? And so next will be like alternate career options. If you're not doing a PhD, what were the alternate career options? For me, it was until my third year, I was not very sure I would be doing PhD. I was also looking into industry. So for a computational chemist, computational chemist industry is, I think, is in a decently good shape in India. But then for like the synthetic chemist, also India is a very nice place to be at. So other alternate career options, like I would only talk about the career options that has been pursued by my batch. And from chemistry, I'm from batch 18, so Sciastra was something which was done by Vivek. That's very well adopted to go, given that the heads are given by Vivek from our batch. Then a lot of students have gone for medicine studies, science, and SMS, Delhi. Another thing for computational chemistry I can only talk of here is you can go to industries, and some industries does computational research in India are like Schrodinger, one of it in Hyderabad, you have Shell and ExxonMobil, who does computational research, and you hired. I'm not very sure if they have hired from NISER, but they have done interviews and I received my feedback. So they hired masters for research. So there's pretty nice options to find if you want to pursue industry. Next would be master's lab. It's very good to select a master's lab because in chemistry you'll be working for 2 years, select a topic which you really want to work on and the lab which you really like to be at. So I work with Lubraj's lab, which is a very fun lab to work with. We go on field pretty regularly and also you can change projects, you can learn new stuff, and it was a really nice place to be. And also, it's very helpful for my health. Also, like it's extremely helpful for me because whereas other places and stuff, even me, exactly what like exactly stuff like that, and you know how to help. Also, when I just figured out this event, so we did a uh, working with the chemistry college and also we work with like financial system for like security of your our like a security of our all this is the evidence of our place like a EMC for weekend and So, yeah, thank you. If you have any questions that we haven't answered.
Hello. Am I audible? There seems to be some problem with my laptop as well.
Am I not audible?
No, you are audible. My mic.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if there's some questions for Anirudh, we can like accommodate 1 2 questions. Okay. If not, we'll proceed with Nilesh. That Nilesh, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Is that screen visible?
It is.
So, as I'm currently at University of Hyderabad, doing my PhD on Professor of Vivinkana and the Institute of Technology. And yeah, firstly,
Nilesh, one thing. Can
I'm
you?
an expert.
Sorry.
I'm just a student.
Can you just click that hide button there?
Yes.
Like there's something called stop sharing.
Okay.
Yeah. So great. Thanks.
Yes. The question is that on this book, I was a student and I still is a student. So as and this is what I did at NISER. I basically completed my master's in life sciences and I worked on developing similar models for utility and try to understand how to reactions play a role in the neurotype field models. And I had this great opportunity to work in the lab of Professor Chandran Goswami for my thesis. And currently in Hyderabad, I'm working with understanding the molecular mechanisms that underlie your diabetic and chemotherapeutic neurotype. And yeah, this was my thesis. And the question is like, why do I work with pain? Every time I ask this question to myself, that's that comes out is that either I love pain or I love the brain. So whichever it is, I'm working with neurobiology now. And then the question comes like, why did I sort of choose the career path of PhD? These are vulnerable things like money, job security, of course, definitely not. Then there comes another higher educational degree, solve real world problems. No one outside your science circle really cares about it. And the last option was like, I felt like doing it, and I did. And you know, it was a bit to my skill set, so I would consider it not a very bad option. And you have to find your own calling to do it, or you just have to find out what you want to do at the end of the day. And this is a very great thing that I found out that here is very good in explaining what a PhD is. You basically find a gap in studies and you work around with it and then present it to people. Okay, so yes, so how's it going for me now? I've been now for like a month, and the great part is I was currently helped by these 2 persons. Shamika was from my lab, from CG lab, and Subhanjali, who I take care for like 1 or 2 months when I came here, and they were super helpful in getting settled up in Germany. And then my lab members here in Germany, and they're fun people, really fun people. We go out to have dinners, we go out to have food, and because of the hard looks at times, it's great, it's cold, and we can rent at any point in time. And then we come to the part which is not so great part of it. At some point in time, you have to, have your calendars stacked up. Like you have to do these things that I here not do in India. You have to, plan your day, a day or a week before, and you have to put in small steps like you have to, have complete videos for translations for people from Thailand will understand it, and you know, people wants to work with when you come
into working with experiments will fail, you get to give bad question blocks, your presentation will work, and sometimes the instead of work. So it's some point in time that you have to make peace with bad results because as my first slide pointed it out that you are still a student and you are kind of allowed to make mistakes. But the thing is, you have to learn from them. Then I get this question from a lot of my juniors that how do you search for PIs and how do you do this use the applications? And the first thing I would suggest to them would be to read your research area well. So if you go on to write your thesis, you go on to write your semester reports, you kind of have to write an introduction part of it. And in that introduction part, you kind of read different research articles that are concerned with your research area. So that really gives you a very well understanding of the people that are working in the area that you want to pursue research in. And know your field and you have to know where your work stands and what is the exact gap that your work is trying to fill in. And the third point is more when you have an interview, you have to show that you love the subject matter. You have to show why you choose to work with it and what is the gap you're trying to fill in so that, and what new scope of investigation that you are trying to put forth that wasn't previously explored. And one thing that I want to put some light on is that please do not try to do a lot of things about an already established field in your interviews because the professors or the people that you are trying to apply to, they have been working in that field for like years and they clearly know more than you. So please don't try to teach them the field, but rather you have kind of to give an overview of the gap in the research that you are kind of trying to fill in with your master's research thesis and have hobbies, have co-curriculars a lot because that's fun and it's a great conversation starter because I can say in a couple of my interviews, I was literally asked like, what are your hobbies? What do you want to do in your free periods? And in case you have experiments that is not really working in the lab, what would you do? How would you tackle yourself? These are like real interview questions that I would get, and then get help from your collaborators, your current labs as much as possible. I mean, PhDs over there who are in the third year, fourth year, or above, they have seen a lot of master students passing out, and I think so they have a pretty good idea of how did they apply, how they curated their CVs, their SOPs, their motivation letters, their cover letters. So they also have a pretty good idea of how they kind of did their research, how they presented it, and another thing is the people that you apply to, they also kind of help you. And yes, so this is a figure from my thesis. And if you can see, there is this the Kuna, and it is the same Kuna, so Professor Rohini Kuna, in whose lab I am currently working now. And yes, an example of how to search. Both of these papers, these are real references from my thesis, and these two are from the same lab that I am currently now working in. Then I also told you like people you apply to also help. They know the scenario. They will write it to you that there are certain issues in this part of your research. There are certain issues in this part of your mail. There are certain issues in this part of your CV, and you can always read up and. That will dramatically increase your chances when people know that you are genuine and you are really trying the best of yourself to apply and get to places. People do help, and then the second one is a professor in Germany, and I had an interview with her, and she was pretty cool. And the thing was the project kind of needed a lot of experience with electrophysiology and patch plan. And when she was like, yeah, I could not take you in because of these reasons, but what I can suggest you is the university has another professor who works in the similar field as you, and he may have a suitable position open for you. And they also kind of help. They forward your application, they forward the CV, they put in a good word, and it helps. And then don't be afraid of if you get replies like I'm going to retire and I'm not taking any PhD students, or there are no open positions in the lab. Just treat it as like, okay, fine, didn't work and I can apply somewhere else. So the preparation would be, first of the thing would be your CV. Think of your CV as an academic Tinder profile where you have to look extremely great, as well as you have to be truthful to yourself. Don't show off a lot, because people kind of know that you are showing it off, and if you have really done that stuff or not. And then your write up should be professional. And the thing that people look for in your SOPs or motivation letter, which I think is, they look how you approach a problem and not exactly what you're trying to solve and how you have solved it. Then try to look at your approach. Even if your approach is failed, you can also show that yes, this was the thing, this is the gap, and we tried to solve it like this. It did not happen, so we choose a different approach, and this kind of worked, and that is how your thesis hypothesis got developed, and you're currently working with it. Then you have to create your own work presentations, and always keep it at hand, because if you are applying in Europe, they have this rolling basis of intake. So an interviews can drop in at any point in time. They'll be like, yes, we are free the next week. So maybe this suitable time we can have an interview with you. And yes, that is how it works. And prepare your references. You have to be in constant, interaction with people in your institute. You have to talk with professors in NISER, or your internship professors, or even your collaborators that you have in other institutes, and you have to inform them pretty before you start applying, so that they know you and they get time to think what to write in your reference letters and all. So it's better to approach them a bit earlier. Then yes, this is a thing that Anirudh Bhaiya kind of pointed it out, like have a list of professors, have a list of programs that you want to apply, and start applying as soon as possible. I mean, most of the deadlines in US kind of fall in like November, December. So start applying. November to January is the critical time if you are applying for PhD positions in US. And the best people who can review your write up, your work, your presentations are your peers, or the people that are currently in the lab you're working in, your seniors who have passed in just the previous year or the year before, who are currently working as PhDs, and even your current PIs. If I tell about myself, I had forwarded my CV to my professor at NISER, and he did give a good amount of input. It's mostly because you also need to know how many projects you can put up in your CVs, because at the end, all of the projects that you work with, he is going to be the corresponding author. So you have to be sure how much of the work you are putting it up to your CV, because there are certain works that your professor would be like, I would not like to put this thing as this, and you may change it to something more broader. And this always have an idea, read a lot of papers, and just need to have a good amount of information about the work or the field you are working with. That gives you a great edge when you are applying to different programs. Then how to make it? I would say there are a lot of free templates available in softwares like Overleaf, MS Word. You can also use softwares like Canva, I have also used Canva because at a point in time I was into website designing, and I am more of a uh, quantitative person rather than a qualitative. And a lot of my master thesis work was a lot of quantitative stuff. So to show that, what I used was for my skills, I had the name of my skills and an attached scale bar to it, which basically represented how much time I have spent on that particular skill set in my lab. And then I had the small round buttons throughout my CV, which was like connected to a certain web page, which kind of showed that yes, I know a bit of designing things, and I am quite of that gives an impression of like how quantitative I am. And yes, for the CV part, there are a lot of YouTube videos. You just have to type in CV for PhD, and you get a lot of videos in YouTube, and it helps a lot. And then there's this guide from University College Cork, and it has a little description of the structure of how your CV should look, and what are your do's and don'ts that you kind of follow for your CVs. And yeah, and yes. Then about internships, I'm not really the best person to talk about it because I had certain commitments to the CG lab, so I did not really go out of NISER for doing most of my internships. So I had an interaction with Professor CG, and he was like, "It's fine if you don't do an internship outside NISER. You can always put the work that you did during that period as internships in NISER." And I did the same. I had this internship tab in my CV, which I had noted down all the work that I did during my time, more or less, in NISER. And yep, so and then the thing that I want to talk about is publications. It's not really a mandatory thing to have on your CV, but they do leave a good impression, and gives you an edge. Added to that, it gives you confidence that yes, the work that you have done is kind of peer reviewed, and people have found it to be good for publication. So it kind of gives you confidence that yes, you can work in the science field, and you know what really goes around when you go for publications and stuff. It kind of acts as a proof of concept for your scientific writing, your scientific fundamentals. Though it's not mandatory when you go for your writing your thesis, or you go around writing your semester reports. If you read it well, and shape it up in form of a review kind of thing, then also you can approach your PIs, professors to, I wrote this thing for my semester report, or I wrote this thing for my thesis, and can we go for writing a review on it? And yes, reviews also count as pretty good publications. And lastly, I'm very thankful to CG Lab, mostly Professor CG, Dr. Satish, Dr. Tushar, and soon to be Dr. Sushma, who helped me a lot, who helped, molded me to the person that I am. They have molded my research career, taught me everything that I know about cell biology and working in a lab. Now I'm in this Professor Rohini Guna's lab at the Heidelberg Faculty of Medicine, and this is basically the whole lab. And thanks to the Brain Matters Club for organizing this and all the associated clubs. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilesh. That was a great talk. Um, any more questions for Nilesh?
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
Hello, you mentioned to like make a list of internship and professors and stuff like that, right? Uh,
I list of processes and your yes.
but the thing is, like, I'm currently a third year, and to find these professors, like, is a very big task for me currently. Like, I can't find such professors. Like, surfing Indian institute websites is fine, but Western most institutes are like, I can't find the professors' names even sometimes.
Yes. In your third year also, you have to give a semester report, right? You have to give a semester presentation.
Could you
Hello.
repeat again? Like,
Yeah, like I was wondering, like, is there any better method to find these professors that you want to work with?
Yes, I'm asking that in your third year, you have to give a semester presentation, right? Like what you are going to
No,
work on. Okay,
no,
so
not
that's
as in
really
for
really.
important.
master thesis
Okay.
you are talking, or
So,
Like in general for
yes, for
research,
in
any internship
general or
you have.
your master thesis. Yes. So the thing is, if you want to work in a certain area and you read papers about it, like I showed you in my references or in my thesis report I already did refer to a lot of papers from the current lab that I'm working in. Like I referred a lot of papers from Professor Kuna's lab, and that's the reason I directly wrote to her that I was reading your papers and I found this interesting, and I want to further work for my PhD in your lab, and I really found your work great. And you can do this stuff when you read papers or research articles related to your area. You will always keep on finding a lot of professors that are working in the same field or working in the same area that you are kind of trying to approach.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
And if you're trying to work on ion channels, if you're trying to work on neurobiology, you can directly Google ion channel labs or neurobiology labs. I know there is this website called neurobiologylabs.io or org, where there's a list of like 100 or 100 something labs that are only working in ion channel biology. So yes, that kinds of help. People do really great stuff on internet these days, so you can use that to your advantage.
I sure.
Okay.
okay, is there any more questions? Or yeah, please, Catherine. Catherine, are you there? Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes.
So you mentioned something about the in preparing presentations for interviews, right?
Yes.
Can you
Can you repeat the question? I
explain more
mentioned about.
about it? Preparing presentations for interviews.
Oh yes. The thing is, especially in Europe or in US, when you apply for these programs or you apply to professors, they kind of tend to take interviews. And of all the interviews that I had in US, I did have interviews, and they were like program related, so you get like 30 to 40 minutes to interact with the professor, and it's always great to have an presentation it starts off like who I am, what did I do till now, what are my co-curricular activities. You can have like one slide describing what you are and what are your interests, and then you kind of jump to what is the research area that you're kind of trying to focus on, what are the if I'm putting it right, research gap that you're kind of trying to focus to in your master's thesis that goes on like one or two slides at max, because you really do not want to talk about a lot to a person who is already working in that field, because it's inevitable that he knows much better than you. And then you kind of get on to the results section, like if you have what you have worked on, why you have worked on, and if there were any problems or issues working with, like your Western blot did not work, your immunoprecipitation did not work, uh, your immunohistochemistry did not work, and you kind of try to solve it via this way, or you kind of set up a different model system for working with certain diseases, or you kind of went on to do, like I did. I set up a cellular model for neuropathic pain, and yes, that is some things that you can tell a professor, yes, this was the problem that I tried to focus on, and this was my approach, and this is all the work that I did, and then you kind of
for now, this work does not really give a very clear indication of that this might be happening, but yes, this kind of gives me an indication that this ion channel or this pathway or this molecular mechanism can be a potential therapeutic candidate for your disease, and talk a lot about how you work in the lab, what is your lab atmosphere, and yes, that is what I most put in my presentations. Keep it short. You don't write a lot of things, but talk about a lot of things.
Okay. Any more questions or? Okay, thank you, Nilesh. We'll proceed with Ritudip.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Am I audible and is
Yes.
my slide is visible?
Yep.
Yeah. So, hi. Thanks, Brain Matters, for the invitation. And I guess this presentation will be hopefully helpful for all of you. So, myself Ritadeep, and I am a doctoral assistant at DQMP at University de Genève at Geneva, Switzerland. So I'll wrap it off my slide into in this few portions. First, I'll introduce some introduction, and then I'll go to what are my experiences that carved my paths, and then I'll give my 2 cents on how to apply and all those things. So, in the introduction, I'd like to mention that I came from a state board background and obviously a vernacular background. So, if you are from that background, don't worry because things can be great for you. And so I graduated in the last year, so at 24 I was a student from batch 19, and I'm a UNIG PhD of 24. So my path actually carved even before I joined to NISER. I always had someone for looking up to. In my 11th, I met this guy. His name is Mahan Maharaj. He is a TIF faculty. And I got very inspired and I thought I'll do science. And then I came to NISER. In NISER, in the first year, it was not quite good, but then once I got into my field, in physics, then it started a little bit well, and then I met some very good professors, and it went really well for me. And another thing, what I try to do, that is, I try to find a balance between my comfort and my expertise. And it is a rule. It is a thumb rule for your research and also for your life. So here, what I'm trying to say, that if you are getting good score in certain subject, but you have dream about other subject or other discipline, then try to find a balance, because it's not really good that you go to a stream which you really like but you can't score well, because then again your mental health will be jeopardized. And try to reduce the problem in parts. Again, it's for research and your life, because here the problem is to find PhD or to do something after your masters. So try to reduce the problems, what you want to do and what are the steps you need to take to accomplish that thing. And the fourth thing is pick up skills as much as possible. And the better way to get the skills are the internships. And also the internships will prepare you with the application process and with the sadness that comes after getting rejected. So if you apply for internships, obviously you will be accustomed to those things. also with failure in labs, failure in research, you will be accustomed to. And now I'll give my 2 cents on the probable paths. First, I'll go start with finding a PhD position abroad. Find a topic on which you really want to work, and do not focus on the rank of the university or how good the professor is. Like obviously, those are some things that you have to have in your mind, but try to focus on the topic because it is the topic on which you will be working for 4 years or 5 years later in your life, and it's very important. Then try to avoid positions with meager salary. The reason is people avoid this kind of statement, but I'm telling you, when you will be applying for PhD or you will do your PhD, you obviously will be of certain age, and you people around you will have some expectation from you, and then another thing is you also have to take care of your economic stability, and you don't know about the inflation and other things. So try to avoid the positions which gives you some minimum wage. Try to have at least a good life for your PhD, and apply for grants if you have any projects in mind. The reason is they don't only give you money, they are also very good for your CV, because those are needed if you will be applying for postdocs or for other parts of your academic life. So try to apply for grants. Some bonus tips, that is, check the average completion year of PhD in the group in which you will be applying to. How to check? The way is check their website, and if it is not there, then check the name of the alumnis. Go to LinkedIn, search their profiles, and just check how many years they took to complete their PhD, because it's extremely important, and at some places it will be much year longer. I mean, it will probably break you, and you will lose all your motivation to do research in your later in your I mean after this PhD. And try to connect with alumni and the current members to get some insight about the work environment and the other things which will be going on for your PhD. And this is a table where I just strip down what are the metrics according to me, obviously, that has some impact on your PhD application. So for CGPA, the impact is low, I think, and the base is 9 if you can have 9, and the minimum is 8.5, I guess, because also Gargi told you that at least 8.5 will put you somewhat, but below 8.5, obviously you can get a PhD, but I mean, some university abroad do accept people. Also, from my batch, people got PhD, but I think that you should have some CGPA over 8.5 to be in a good place. Skills, yeah, the impact is very high. For me, I think I got selected because of this, and it's very important to pick up the skills that you will need for the PhD. I mean, the instruments your PhD lab will use, then the methods they will use. If you already know them, then it will teach you that later. I mean, when you come